1 minute.
Yeah, I know.
You like using the tablet?
Huh? Oh, I'm using the tablet for my text for my TikTok. So I have my scripts right there and my what they're good for right there. And we're live.
We're on?
Hmm.
Oh man, I'm on the spot. Hello to everyone. I thought I would talk today about materials, gathering supplies, things like that. And there are a lot of different type of materials that I deal with. Um, like Christina was telling me today that Amazon sells metal roofing. I had no idea.
And I honestly, if I remember right, it's pretty comparable to what you pay, believe it or not.
I don't know how they're doing that, but I'll have to look into it. I am a bit like she is. I like to put my hands on it. I like to see the company doing the work. But anyway, I don't, as a rule, buy my materials from Amazon. There are some occasions where we have ordered light fixtures that are specific. Uh, you know,
eBay, Amazon.
yeah. Um, we do buy automotive supplies from eBay mostly.
Parts Geek.
Parts Geek has been
That's been
one.
a big one.
It's been another couple. There's a couple of them that we've done regularly. Just fell out that way. Um, don't know if I would be totally, you know, loyal to Parts Geek as
Oh
long as they're
no.
doing the job, which is make it a fair price.
No, because Parts Geek has made just as many mistakes as everybody else here recently in car parts.
Well, everybody makes mistakes. Only thing is, the local parts store you can
You
take it
trade
back.
back.
Yeah, quickly. Um,
Whereas it's a giant pain in the rumpus.
so car parts probably more than 50% now are ordered online. Occasionally junkyards, but it has to be something that like if I'm going to Colorado, I don't really want to worry about that part failing on the way because that's just a lonely stretch. I don't know how those people rode wagons without being fearful.
Oh, they were terrified. They had to be.
There's just no trees even, much less water to you'd have to go a long ways to find water. Anyway, the I don't buy tires new. I haven't done that in quite a while. The reason is it's well, tires are alarmingly high. But why would I do that when I can just buy a set of used tires from somebody that went to buy the new ones
For
and
about the price of one new tire.
for
Almost.
probably less than the price of one new tire, and they're half used, and so we can go for another 30,000 miles, 20,000 miles. My truck has 8,800 pounds total weight, so it wears the rear tires out quite a lot. Um, those I buy used. Most of the time, I have these guys that I stop by and see, and I pay them $40. Sometimes they make it cheaper, but uh, they're really good guys. Loyalty Tire. Um,
That's there in Bentonville,
yeah,
Arkansas.
on the way to Rogers. Yeah.
If anybody is in our local area.
So they do repairs and things like that, but generally I can buy a tire for like $40. So why would I pay 200 and then I ran over a roofing screw that just literally made the truck go dooka dooka dook, so I went to another tire company. They charged me $15, but then they had me do electrical work on their place. So as far as tires and car parts and things like that, I'm not your average. I don't go down to the parts store all the time. I'm really kind of disgusted with how much profit those companies are making, and then how little they pay their help. So I have the same problem with Walmart. It hurts my feelings to see people work for so low a wage, and Walmart makes so much money. It's and waste so much money. Um, and yes, they have raised what they do, but Walmart and all these companies, it bothers me. O'Reilly's pays at this point, $12 an hour, and you can go to McDonald's and make the same amount of money. Might be
You
able
can
to
go to
make more.
McDonald's and make 17, 15, or 17
Yeah,
the
I don't
starting
know,
pay.
but I do know they pay very, very little, and it's a shameful thing. The profit that they're making
It's horrible.
it's crazy how much money they're making.
Just to put a
Okay,
flippin'
mind
cover.
you, the auto parts places that we buy from online are making money. They won't be in business if they weren't making money.
Everybody all down that
Okay,
that chain has to make money.
they made money, but O'Reilly's quite often is two times that price, twice the price, if not three or four times the
I was
price.
gonna say something like the water pumps. Oh my God! If you
It's
don't have to buy a water pump at the
it's
store,
it's literally outrageous. O'Reilly's and AutoZone, um, how little they pay their help, and how they can't keep help because they pay so little. Um, anyway, as a rule, I don't buy a whole lot from them. I don't boycott them altogether, but I could. Um, and so with car parts, I look online and I go to junkyards. I look also, occasionally, depending on what it is, rims and tires. I go to Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, things like
how
that.
many times have you bought like rims and tires?
I have bought many times a solid set of rims and tires for what I needed for the price of one tire.
I think you just did that not too long ago with my truck, didn't you?
Yes, and I do it all the time. I have been for many, many years. Um, so when it comes to parts, it's probably a little more redneck than what you would think. I, I, I really don't care to just hand my money to people that then they can go on vacations and blow it. The guys that are executives, not the guys that are working. God bless them. They're working. They're trying to do their job, and make some money with what they're doing. Um, I just don't like all the wastefulness that these ultra wealthy people do. Um, and there really is no need for them being that high. I understand the overhead, and they can argue with me all they want. I know what the overhead is. So then that would be car parts. You can get. I used to order from Summit for higher end stuff. Things that are brand new and high performance, things like that. But you can also get those kind of things, believe it or not, from Facebook. So,
You can also check Craigslist too. Craigslist is still semi, especially with the older generation, the late Gen Xers, late boomers. They do
there's
a
a lot
lot
of
of
parts
selling
out
on
there that
Craigslist.
people just. I was going to do this, and now I decided not to. I'm going to sell it. But you need to be aware of what prices should be before you start buying. Like thinking you got a good deal. Understand your prices. That's going to be a theme that I'm going to bring up all the time. Understand, look around, see what your prices are. All right. So, what about air conditioning parts? The funny thing about air conditioning parts is you can buy the whole unit, the whole air conditioner, every bit of it, inside and out. You personally can. I have a project to do right now, and they just did not believe me, so I have to send it to them. That a 1.5 ton Goodman air conditioner with I mean, I really didn't look very long. It was like $1,500 for the condenser and $450 for the A coil. 410A, yes. 410A is being phased out. 454B is being put in, but they can buy that, So we're at $2,000, and the comparison to that, with me charging, if I would charge $1,500 to put it in, $3,500, and everybody else is going to charge $5,000, $7,000, $6,000. So you can order all the parts. That's not going to be the case when you go to do repairs, like for a contactor or for a fan motor, relays.
Those can get really expensive, can't they?
Well, it all depends on how well you know your part. You should have a part number on every one of those parts, and then you can order them online. And the range of prices is amazing. It's amazing how much difference. I think some people just buy expensive because they think it's not going to be any good if it isn't expensive. So they pay $500 for a part they could buy for $100 because it can't be that cheap. So those people exist because of that. It's just that way in a lot of things. So like contactors, relays, and capacitors, all those things can be ordered online, but it takes a while to get to you. A fan motor,
Can't be an emergency job.
no. So where do you get those things if you are working and you need it now? Well, you have to go to a supply house. That means you need to know where your supply houses are. And sometimes some of those supply houses just refuse to sell to the general public. There's no reason for it because you can buy the whole unit, everything online. You can buy everything but the Freon. But they're just that way. They want to allow the contractor to make their markup on it. But around here, there's one called Locks. Quite often, you can find what you're looking for new from Locks. Again, they don't pay very well. And again, the amount of profit they're making is just amazing. But
we've caught Locks several times, making like huge markup.
right, it's just unbelievable. But even though that markup is there that we are aware of, or I am aware of, there's a bunch of other places to go, and I've had to go to them. I've had to drive all the way to Springfield
You had to drive to Fort Smith yesterday.
for a fan motor to a specific 1992 mobile home, and they were the only ones that had it.
Which is, to explain, is over 2 hours
It's a
on
2-hour
busy
ride.
highway that has horrible, almost California grid traffic. And he was driving during rush hour.
Right. And of course, the people that I'm working for flinch because of how much they're having to pay, but they would have to pay a lot more with anybody. Everybody else would have just said get a new unit. So I went ahead and fixed it. It cost. We had to buy. What it's called a step down. Transformer. I think it's a step down. So it's with the electric heat strip, and you don't kick in all the heat strips all at once. So it has a step down on it. Those were hard to come by, but I was easier to find that than the special fan motor that was needed. But it was more about size than speed, and then you can get to different sizes with adjustable brackets. They make it in a universal bracket that lets you put all that. It's quite a journey, but you can get a smaller or larger motor that has the right RPM, the right shaft. the right rotation and all that. You can get, but just different size shape. Um, you can get in a universal, and again, all that stuff is available online. Probably more readily available. You can find it more readily than just calling around trying to, hey, do you have a da da da. I've actually had Intertherm and Coleman tell me, unless you're a dealer with us, we're not selling you the part. So I had to, you know,
What jerks?
yeah, they're, but I could, you
I've
can,
run into the same problem ordering online. There are certain companies that will give me crap, and even with having that HVAC number and all that, because we're not a LLC or
well, you're not a contractor
yeah,
listed on their list
yeah,
as a
they're like,
contractor.
nope, we won't sell you nothing. So be aware of that.
You know, air conditioning companies, quite a few of them that won't sell you parts unless you are on uh,
Approved list.
their list. Yeah, but those parts are still available online. You have to, you just
You
can't
just might
deal.
have to pay a little bit more.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to deal directly with them. So air conditioning parts can be a nuisance, but you can always find them far cheaper online. Always. So if you need to get in a hurry, now I'm gonna, since this is about where I find parts, I actually have a lot of air conditioners that other people threw away. Then I pick up and
Excuse the dog in the background. It's my great name, Puppy.
so I have those used parts. As a rule, don't like to use used parts, but if somebody needs it, something right away, I can go out there and grab it, take it off, take it and put it on, and they're good to go. And I don't charge much of anything for those parts. Um, get your real expense is my time. Period. Going to get the part, all those things.
Finding the part.
You have to make a lot of phone calls, look online. It's a true journey, and it's a lot of times the truck is running, so I have somebody with me looking that stuff up and making phone calls. Um, so with air conditioning, it can be pretty tough. Now, how about electrical? The weird thing about it is a lot of your supply houses, like locks, are too expensive. Sometimes, not always, I can buy at Lowe's, but you need to be careful with Lowe's and Home Depot. If you don't know what the price is, they have a habit of revving up certain rolls of wire.
And it'll be random.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
It's like randomly.
Because online you can buy it far, like $100 cheaper for a $250 roll online, and then you pick it up at the store. Okay, but you walk into the store and you think, oh, I need that, and then you buy it. So again, you need to be aware of the prices, or you're just going to pay more. But why is Lowe's and Home Depot cheaper? Well, because places that are like Elliott Electric and all those, their most of their customers are, I will pay you whenever the job pays me. So you do commercial work or you do subcontract work, and when you finish wiring that house and you get your draw, then you go and you pay your supplier, in theory. Especially commercial, you get a big draw, 40,000, you take 25 of that and you pay off your bill, the electric supplier. So the supply houses can charge whatever they want. You as a,
For the convenience
right,
of paying when you get your
you
draw.
kind of have to be stable. You can't constantly raise it up. So whenever they call you, you find out what the price will be, and you bid on it accordingly, and you lock them into that price. But when you go down to buy something for a little job somewhere, the prices are ridiculous. They're higher than Lowe's and Home Depot or other places. Meeks around here and Rideout, all those things. You can find that it's better to check prices than it is to do. Occasionally, I see something that amazes me, like on Facebook, where somebody has a roll of wire for the right price. But on the same count, as many times as I see a really good deal on Facebook, I see somebody who's charging the same as a brand new price, same, if not higher. So again, you need to know the prices.
A lot of times it's higher, I think, because they're trying to get their money back and then some.
Maybe if you don't know, you just like, oh, I'm on Facebook. I'd see that. I might need that because I'm gonna do this or that. Well, you need to know the prices. Um, and sometimes you're ahead when you buy in volume. I remember there was we were putting in sewer lines, 2-inch sewer lines. They were grind up sewer and they were pumping uphill. But I wanted to be able to find the line because the old line in 1992, 95, nobody knew where it was, but it was broken somewhere and it had not been making it up to the septic tank. So this was going to be different. I wanted to be able to find it. So I needed to get a roll of wire. Well, to buy a regular roll of wire was, 1,000-foot roll was like $500, for number 14 or something like that. Um, and I had two lines that were over 600 feet. So that's 1,200 feet. I was like, man, I don't really want to buy a brand new wire and just stick it in there. We'll see what I can find. Well, I found a gentleman that had a sign store, and they used to wire up all the old signs. Now they don't bother to wire them up. They just put brand new ones up. And they had all these reels of wire that they weren't using anymore, and a rack that it was sitting on. It was just all stuffed in there. He says, "You give me $200, and you can have all these rolls." And I still got them. I still got rolls and rolls and rolls of wire, and the rack, the stand that it goes on. Um, so I mean, yes, you can certainly find deals, but you need to know what the price is. Uh, Also, with wire, you need to know, what your amperage, ranking is, number 6, number 8, and what the price is. One of the ones that really is kind of outrageous is the 2-aught wire, four wire for mobile home. So it's 2 aughts, a neutral, and a green ground. They want right at $9 a foot with tax. $9 a foot
Wow.
to get 200 amp service. So, whenever I see a deal on that, I might, if I have a little extra money, I'm in the area, I'm gonna pick it up. Uh, so yes, Facebook does pay off on certain materials. Am I in the habit of using those things for my customers? Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
Most of what I do is brand new, and when it comes to
Well, we have 14 rentals.
yes, so anytime I'm on a contract basis and I have extra materials, I can keep them around and use them eventually on my rentals. So I have quite a lot of materials stretched out here and there. Um, but when it comes to like drywall, drywall mud, those kind of things, you know, it's really not worth driving from one to the other. You can make a phone call sometimes or look online and find out which one's dollar or two cheaper, but it's not worth it to me. Whatever's closest, those things are marginal. Those are wood generally, and plywood and 2-bys.
Our guys cost more than that.
Yeah, so it,
In fact, that's our neatest thing to spend time together is sometimes you'll come home and say, hey, I got to go buy materials. Want to come with me?
yeah, like I've got to go to Harrison probably to get some flooring. And I had to go to Fort Smith because the Home Depot in our area didn't even have any. They had part of one box. So I went to Fort Smith to get them, and they helped me estimate. I didn't really need their help, but she was like, "Oh, I can. How many square feet you need?" And she told me, and was like, "Oh, you need this. You need 28 boxes." Well, I'll just get 29. Can I purchase them here? No, you can't. You have to go down there. But we can call them, find out if they have them. Okay. So I'll go all the way down there, and come to find out, uh, we put all 29 boxes down today. It was not. It was about a little over half of the
That's why
house.
you don't ever let anybody estimate.
I knew better. Instinctively, I was like, well, that doesn't sound right. You know, $2,000. You know, that's not what I bid that at. There's no way that house. I like. I'm busy driving in heavy traffic and all the way down to Fort Smith, which is an hour and 45 minutes, almost 2 hours. Um, so I've got another, and they didn't. They didn't give me the right amount. It's just as well. I couldn't have put the other 25 that I need in addition to the 29 I have because the truck was squatting as it was. There's a lot of weight. So I would have had to hook up a trailer to go up, down to Fort Smith and back. Um,
Which is even more expensive, more dangerous.
I would have, done it if I'd known what I was up against. But now I went down to Fayetteville and got 15 more of the 25 that I need, and I still got 10 to go. But I want to make sure, that we really need 10 because as we get closer, be able to be more accurate about how much we actually save. And we use a lot of the materials. I try not to waste any, and most of it is about my conscience toward the customer. But in this case, it's a subcontract thing, and I don't like wasting. I rarely ever return. I mean, occasionally, but I don't return materials. I just keep
It's
them
gotta
around.
be random, something that we're never gonna use.
Yeah, it's just so like with drywall mud and plywood and things like and drywall, those things generally are Lowe's and Home Depot's what you would call loss leaders. That means they literally will lose money on those items so that they can sell you the screws,
Which
the sanding sponges, all those things that you need, nails and on and on and on. They make their money on those things. Okay, so uh, are there secret places that somebody like me knows? Yes. Like I know to get a better price on a door, I go to Home Outlet, which you may not have where you're at, or I go to here or there. One, if you don't mind, maybe you want to try to save a little bit of money. I might go to see if Habitat for Humanity has it. By the way, I have a lot of doors. I use doors quite often to build shelving. So because I can buy the door for $1 or $2 and you can buy stuff at auctions. But as a rule, I don't use used materials on customers' homes.
no, we use them here.
But here, definitely. So you might consider, like a solid core door. There was a guy that was like, come here to pick up a chicken house that I paid $75 for and put it together and sold it for 200. He had a door. He said, I'm gonna throw that door away. I said, well, if you don't mind, you just give it to me. He said, I still got it sitting out there. It's an exterior door, metal clad both sides. Got the doorknob. I don't care about that. So if I don't use it as a regular door, it is the same as plywood and 2x all the way around it. How much money did I save?
A lot.
$30, $40, and time. All I got to do is build legs for it now. It's a table, a part of a multiple door shelf, sliced up on it. So anyway, I'm pretty creative with what I have and what I find. I have places to store things here. I have materials and I have a lot of materials here. But that's why if I buy something used, it's for here because I know it's the right price and that's the way I know I'm gonna come out on that. Like when we built her chicken houses, that was actually I wanted to do something that anybody could do, and we end up having very low cost, which was privacy fence that fencing companies that replace the old fences, they haul them off, and if you want, they'll give them to you.
For free.
Here, occasionally they try to charge for them, but most of the time they just don't want to have to haul them to the dump. And you can go and get them. You say, hey, do you mind? Would you let me take those ones you're going to throw away?
You might end up spending an hour or so
Yeah.
on checking that, but
So,
saves you hundreds of dollars.
and there used to be a couple of companies that I could buy 1x4s for real inexpensive, and they're not as available now because this area has grown, and it's harder and harder for those kind of companies that have a smaller margin of profit to own a building because the buildings in this area are so expensive. It, it's coming to me. Eventually, I'll have to straighten up my act and be all pretty. Um, but the materials are here and where you're at, and I know where to go get them. Yes, your repairman, if has any real value, he will know. Hey, they have a pretty good price on cabinets over here. May not be what you like, but you might check this place. I can. Home Outlet is another place where I can order vinyl windows for really good price and fairly quick. Quicker than Lowe's and Home Depot. I don't know how that happens, but it is what it is. So you kind of bump into those things, and sometimes you can get real cheap prices on linoleum. I don't much care for linoleum, um, but and you can sometimes get pretty good prices on tile, 1x1 or things like that. Laminate floor seems to be real inexpensive. People are slowly catching on to how it's just one-time use. You're not gonna. The thickness of the color is less than the thickness of your Formica top on your counters. So you're literally walking on something that's really fragile and thin, and you can't fix it. If it breaks or scratches, you can't fix it. So I try to use things that I can take out and put another piece in, uh, particularly on places where people have rentals. I try to offer them chances to buy things. So do I always buy the material so I can make a markup? Absolutely not.
We don't mark up materials.
I don't mark up materials. Period. I had Better Business Bureau ladies just straight up tell me, you're lying. Everybody does.
Oh yeah, we had to fight. We fought that for.
It's just something. It's not true. I don't mark up materials. I show you the receipt. So when it comes down to the final finished things, I generally want the customer to be involved. Like I want them to pick out the color paint. I want them to pick out the fixtures. What color of bathtub do you want? There are colors. What height do you want? Um, what style? There's a lot of choices. Oh, well, you just get one. Okay, I can do that, but you can't be upset with me when I don't get what you want. Um, but believe me, I've had it happen. Um, Faucets, light fixtures, particularly fans, things like that. Those dress up things, trim. You can tell me what you want, and then I'll get it. But generally, I want you to pick out those things because you're the one that's going to have to be happy and not you say, well, I don't like the way you do it. Well, I understand you're different than me. We are going different, even though we might be in the same time period. We're on different paths. A lot of people don't even care about me. So I am just a means to an end. Somebody that will help you make your choices, help you get what you want done. People I'm working with now, they're going to do their own painting because that's something they can do. They wanted to know, can I reduce the price $800 if we took all the carpet to the dump and took all the batten strips off? Yeah, you can do that. I'll allow that, no problem. They're going to do their own painting, save the money. Um, so, knowing where these things are, guess what? There's another thing to know: what to do with those supplies, what dumps to go to, who is in this area. Is it cost effective to use a dumpster? That's something that your local guy should know. He may be lazy and not really care. He's like, I always use this, so I never use anybody else. I know a guy that used to work for me. He pretty much buys everything at Menards. You know why? Because if he buys with under his number, he gets a check back at the end of the month. Kind of relies on that. So that's not particularly the best reason to shop at Menards. I don't have one in this area, but so I'm kind of jealous. The choices are massive there. But that's no. I mean, if it's not the cheapest price, I'm not going to take the customer there anyway, or the right material that they want. I want them to find what they want. I'm not gonna encourage them to go to Menards, and I really like a lot of the choices that they have there. We just don't have them here.
We have one, but it's like way far away.
Yeah, it's Springfield. I think there's two in Springfield.
I think there's one in Republic, isn't there?
Nope.
Okay. I was thinking there was one.
No. So when it comes to blocks and things like that, those things are again what you would call loss leaders. There's really not much profit. Bricks, maybe you can get some choices on bricks, but block walls and things like that. Gravel, you can make phone calls and find what you need delivered, and they deliver it. As a rule, unless they're real small jobs, I don't go and get it. I have it brought by the big old truck that they have all that money invested in, the insurance and everything, and they bring to me that load of sand or gravel. Same with cement. You can shop around, but I mean,
It's hard to beat it.
the prices are usually pretty competitive. It's not the same as difference between Locks and Home Depot or Lowe's. I find that Lowe's is a little more contractor oriented, like the light fixtures and things like that come in packages that are a little more stark, and Home Depot's a little more fancy. And of course, you pay more for the lighting fixtures that are fancier, and the atmosphere. You pay a little more for Home Depot. Home Depot's colors tend to lend themselves, not saying that it's specifically, but they tend to lend themselves toward a homeowner, whereas Lowe's tends to lean itself a little more to the contractor. Storm coat paint and, rental contracting paint and things like that. Those are, that's not stuff that Home Depot focuses on. But Home Depot and Lowe's both sell appliances, and the choices are. I find often that I like some of the plumbing, like showers and tubs and shower surrounds at Home Depot better because they're better quality, whereas Lowe's is cheaper but lower quality. And I know I'm going to get somebody fussing about that, but it is what I see. There are exceptions to every rule. Lowe's tends to be now Craftsman and its brands, and Home Depot seems to be Ryobi and its local brands. Um, I've been a Ryobi fan for a while, so when I get tools, I tilt it a little bit more toward Home Depot and sometimes Lowe's. Not often, because the price needs to be the right price, and for me to go out of my way. I generally do Ryobi because it's the better balance between high quality and low price. It's that balance that it's not too expensive. I'm not paying a lot just for a name. I'm paying a fair amount, and I probably should break down some point what the differences are. But I've been using Ryobi for quite a while. I went to Hitachi for quite a while. I liked Hitachi, and then they got to the point where it was hard to find the 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 guns, the screw guns and drills. It was harder, and they were smaller. They were 14.4, and everybody was going to 18 volt. Uh, but they were high quality, and they were fair price. They weren't super high; they were higher. And before that, I did Firestorm, stuff like that. I tried other brands, Craftsman, DeWalt. I've had DeWalt sets. Had one stolen.
I'm still mad about that. That was my set.
Yeah, this one she claimed. But it was somebody walked in. I was like, yeah, I'll buy that. But I wouldn't say that DeWalt is better, but I know there are people that claim they're more compact. The batteries are smaller.
They're not as heavy.
Not as heavy.
Thinking for a woman, the DeWalt is probably more for.
But you pay a massive difference in price.
Yeah, they're
massive difference.
I'd rather get wrist braces.
All right, yeah, you're gonna pay.
I just get to try all the different ones because
when you start getting to DeWalt, you might as well go to Milwaukee. Anyway, again, Lowe's and Home Depot had their differences when it comes to their tools and seasonal things. I don't really have a lot to do with. Sometimes I'll latch on to a deal that I used to buy air conditioners really, really cheap whenever they close them out. Now they haul them off. Or somebody else buys them, because I used to be able to buy the air conditioners when they're closed them out. So I don't know if you guys have listened to me before, but I buy heaters all summer long, electric heaters, and gas heaters if somebody's got one. And I just got this out of my house. I don't like the way it looks or whatever. A vent-free heater, I get it for $10, $20, 30, 50. I'll pick it up if it's propane. I don't need natural gas unless I can convert it. Or electric heaters all summer long. I mean, $3 to $5, and then whenever it's wintertime, everybody's paying 30, 40, 50, 60. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It seems like I got one of the guys brought me a whole bunch of them, and I got them sitting in the back room now.
Heaters?
Yeah, electric heaters. So I know that renters are going to, it's really cold in that back room. I was like, well, here, I heard you say last time that it was really cold, or I'll say, hold on right here. I'll go get you. Oh, you don't have to do that. And I give them one. But it's the same way with air conditioning. I used to buy at Home Depot and Lowe's. They would close out the air conditioners about now when it's really hot. And they would dump. Probably about getting close to 10 years now. And they would just put them on sale really cheap to get the rest of them out. And I'd buy them up, and then put them in the rentals. So whenever I see a deal like that of buying lawnmowers, and I buy them dead of winter most of the time. Occasionally you get a deal otherwise, but somebody I do work for, and they're like, hey, were you interested in that? I might sell you that. You do some work for me, I'll blah, 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 blah. I have somebody right now that they want me to add on to their porch cover.
For a very expensive dog.
And they have a Dixie Chopper zero radius, it's pretty worn. But he's like, I'll make you a deal on it because I don't want it no more. That was my brother's and da-da-da-da. It's like, okay. So, I buy off-season. So don't get me wrong, occasionally I have to buy in-season, but as a rule, I buy off-season so I don't pay as much. It's not because I can't afford it. It's because it's a better way to spend my money and have things when I'm ready.
It's like having old cars versus the payments on and taxes on new vehicles.
Right. We haven't. Have we had a car payment since you've been with me?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the first thing we did is got rid of the car payment.
Yeah, well, she when was first with me, she was buying a car from
Which I
Automatic
hated
Auto
the
Finance,
car.
and they were paying me to work on their buildings. I thought it was amusing. She had paid money to them; they pay money to me.
Yeah, it was pretty
Of
amusing.
course, they paid more money to me than she paid to them, but so we don't have car payments. We try to keep up older cars and keep having them worked on, and there are young guys that and I do too. I work on vehicles when I have time, and there are young guys when they have the time that we pay. Right now, I'm paying like $30 an hour cash, um, and I buy the parts. You know, they work when they want to or when I can afford it, um, and we get vehicles ahead of us. We're working on a '93 Ford pickup with a club cab. I have a whole list of. I don't want to list them all,
No.
but I have a 72 Toyota pickup that I want to get going. We just got the key in. 95 Astra van. Believe it or not, all those vehicles are going to be. They already are collector's items. The Toyota pickup, the '93 Ford. Here in Arkansas, you have to have 40. It has to be a 40-year-old vehicle and not your main vehicle, and you can get an antique tag.
Yeah, that's forever.
Yeah, you don't
You don't ever have to get another tag.
have to go down and get more tags. You know,
We got one truck that was like
and squeeze.
barely been cut off
Yeah,
right before.
it's a '92, and they changed the law right after I got that
I think like the next month.
right. So we don't, as a rule, buy anything with payments. Um, just don't. And because of that, we have multiple vehicles that need to be worked on, and we just wait until I have the time or somebody has the time to work on them and get them. And so we have multiple vehicles that we can drive. If you consider the payments and the insurance and all that stuff, I have a commercial utility bed truck that I paid $3,000 for, and that stupid thing costs more money for insurance on it than all the other vehicles
I
together.
actually was able to find with Geico. So this is for anybody who's got commercial vehicles. You might want to check out Geico because I think I got our insurance down to just a little over $100 a month on his truck.
Like $20 less,
No, like $50.
$50 less, and I was the only one that could drive it.
Yeah, it only covers you.
Yeah, it's because it's a commercial vehicle. So yeah, when it comes to vehicles, we generally do drive
I'm
it
not
till
fussy. Yeah.
because there's nothing more embarrassing than actually not having money because you just got through making payments on something you can't even drive because you can't afford it. You can't afford to fix it now. All the new vehicles are things you can't even work on, and the dealer can't either. Go to mechanics sites and see what they say. Don't listen to commercials. You know, one of the things that trips me up about this company that sells windows is that it seems like this lady says, I found out this, it seems like almost illegal to know, but this is what I found. If you go to this site, you might qualify. Da 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 da.
Oh, that is the stupidest damn thing.
Don't listen to commercials. Go to the person who does the work and they'll tell you what they know. Don't do it when you have to do it. Do it when you have the time. Take the time to do it. Buy out the time, as a saying says. So I've been talking about these different things, but if you want to build your own house, the first thing you're going to want to build or work on a house as you get time, the first thing you're going to want to build is a barn to put your materials in because you're going to find the deals and they won't be in the line that you need them.
No, so you're gonna have to have somewhere to store them. I never thought about that.
So yeah, if you're building a home on property, first thing you want to do is build the garage. That way you can put all the materials inside the garage or a barn. That way you can lock it up so the neighbors don't, like, rowdy kids don't come over and haul it off, sell it to
Borrow it.
somebody else. You know,
Permanently borrow
you're
it.
keeping you're not keeping it highly secured, but you are keeping them a little more honest.
You know, my grandfather, God rest his soul, was a thief. Paula's father. And he said the only thing locks are good for is keeping honest people honest.
Yeah, if you have, yeah,
Let's see, how do you do a roof over a deck if it's 16 feet long? How do I keep it from bowing when I run the rafters 16 feet long way?
okay. The further there is a calculation. The further out you go, you have to go beyond 2x4 to go to beyond, probably beyond 2x6. You might be able to get away with a 2x6, but a 16-foot span, that's a pretty good span. Um,
So you might want to support it.
you're heading for 2x8.
Does that answer your question?
There is a calculation on that. Personally, if you gave me a choice, I would do metal stud. It doesn't bow. It's really odd. But it won't bow. Will it take your weight up there? You want to do 16-inch centers, metal stud, 3.5, and then of course it doesn't look as pretty as wood does if you're going to leave it exposed. But you're not supposed to leave it exposed. You're supposed to go ahead and put softened fascia on it. I personally don't. It doesn't bother me. So a lot of my rentals, I have metal stud. Do I span 16 foot? You don't have to, but I have. I don't normally do that. But the further out I go, the more of them I'm going to put. So on 16-inch centers, the further out you go. Does that make sense? Now, if you're doing it with wood, you're headed toward a 2x8, and on 16-inch centers. Hopefully that's helpful.
I don't know. They're not coming back, but
Yeah. Well,
they're usually really good. She might have just got distracted.
no. I'm happy to answer any question at any
Yeah.
time.
Usually the Childers family is really good about coming right back, so they
Yeah.
may have got knocked off.
Well, all the best to you guys. Um,
Haven't seen him in a while.
yeah. Wonder how
Nice
he's
to see
doing.
him.
They were trying to do repairs and stuff like that, as I recall.
I think they were rebuilding a farm, their farm,
Yeah,
their farm home.
they have a mobile home also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It looks like the family got knocked off.
Well, all the best to you guys. You're gonna have to look around for a metal stud. But Lowe's and Home Depot sells it, but they're crazy high. You'll have to go to a commercial supplier, and you'll be surprised. You can get a heavy gauge metal stud and still be at 3.5. Might consider that. You can support through the middle. Ends up with something supporting in the middle, like a 4x4 post, things like that. There's some other ways you can do it, but you can depend on how much room you have. So the further out you go, usually the thicker the wood you will need, from 2x4 to 2x6 to 2x8. Hopefully that helps. Well, we're getting close to another long day. Interestingly enough, tomorrow will be even longer. I'm going to work even longer before I even get on. We're going to do a TikTok thing
TikTok at 10 o'clock.
at 10. So
Same handle, Straight Arrow Repair.
and you're welcome to come on there and ask questions. This is, what I'm trying to do is leave my ghost behind when I'm gone. So, no, I really want to help people. Hopefully there's things that you can pick up and use. If not, then, you can. So I'm definitely not going to do that. So be it. But
We heard a lot of that.
yeah.
People have a lot of time on their hands.
Well, like with vehicles, a lot of people just are not going to drive older vehicles. They just want to drive nicer vehicles. I understand. I do the work on the vehicles, and she puts up with me. While I'm working on other people's things.
Okay. He says I put up with him. In 12 plus years, I have not changed a tire. I have not had to fix one thing on my car. I have only occasionally had to check oil and water. All I have to do is mention something I want at my house, and it gets done. So I don't know why he's saying I put up with it.
Well, she doesn't have the nice things like a lot of women do.
I have nice things.
She doesn't have the
Yes.
brand new car. Yeah, but she puts up with it. But we've managed to get by when times were tough, and we didn't lose a car because we had payments.
We both have the same values, though.
It helps.
Yeah, I mean, when you're looking for a life partner, you definitely want to consider how both of you look at money, how you look at payments, how you consider all those things.
Yeah,
Raising children.
if we lose everything that we have,
I'll be right there with him.
yeah, we're very close, particularly close, and we're
We'd
committed.
Do it again.
We're both well aware that we could easily cheat on the other. Why would we?
No,
Because we value our relationship that well. So why would you? It's destructive. Why not develop the time and the effort?
And I have devoted a lot of flipping years to this marriage.
Yeah,
Throw it away.
yeah. Why would she, just take a random guy in his offer? It happens a lot. TikTok is like a dating site.
Oh my God, no! TikTok is like a whorehouse.
Okay. So yeah, so we have so little overhead compared to many other people that it's kind of silly that we when we start talking about having in our later years $10,000 a month to spend. That's a lot of money.
And
But
that's not counting any other business. That's just this. That's just the mobile home park.
Yeah, we discussed that, and we're not even doing that yet. So we have other places that we make money, and then what I do as a repairman, I haven't advertised in like 16 years or something.
Speaking of that, quit sending Yelp people to me.
I'll just slide them off to her.
Yeah, the answer was good, and I was just saying, I was so glad to see you guys. We hadn't seen you in forever, so it's nice to see you guys back.
Yeah, we if we don't drop our computer on its corner, we can actually get to stay connected to people
Yeah,
that we like.
yeah, that was all me.
We're here trying to shop around, find a good computer, maybe fix the one we have. It's still sitting there. I put it on the cabinet, and the roof leaked right onto it. Didn't leak anywhere else, but right there. It dripped. I had to climb up on the roof and seal it, but it leaked right on it. So that was not going to happen. And the boy that was to help build that is in Washington.
Yeah, both the twins are now in Washington.
Outside of Seattle.
So
So we had to go and get our own computer and figure out what would, work for the situation. And then we had to set it all up, and
yeah.
There's a lot of journey to get to this point.
And we went ahead and rebuilt this studio, or we built it. He built this studio, so now we don't have to do it at the shop. So
Yeah,
it's nice.
That was when we made the journey and dropped the computer on its corner.
He's saying we. It was not we. It was me.
She had a mouse in her pocket. So this was my boy's room, Clay, and Clay is working for SpaceX,
And then Drew is working for
Amazon's Blue Origin,
Origin.
rocket company.
Yeah.
Blue Origin. Both of them are the only air conditioning guys for that company in that facility, and both of them are covering repairs that on a 150, 200,000 square foot building. It's crazy big buildings, lots of multiple buildings, and both of them are getting better and better. Drew is a little more advanced. He's had more time, quite a bit more advanced than
He's
Clay.
always he's more mature out of all three boys. I think he's the more mature.
Clay's
more
moving
independent.
on. He's moving
Yeah.
on. But, they're twins. So this was Clay's room. And it's something different now. The only thing that stays the same is everything changes.
So storage and studio.
All right, guys, we're going to go. We'll see you next week. And if you want to, you can get with us on TikTok tomorrow at 10.
Central Standard Time.
All the best to you guys.
See ya.
Bye.